Here's a classic story. We had just moved to Northern California and we needed a lot of switching gears. We were getting ready to build out a data center. It wasn't a large data center. It was probably like 6 racks worth of gear. So, one of my frustrations was trying to get someone to call me back after a month of trying to buy their product, and there was just no focus at all on the mid-market. So I went down to the corporate headquarters and demanded to see the CEO of the company so that I could actually buy equipment that they made.
And that's why, when we think about scale computing, not just the HC3 product, but we really wanted to build the company as a whole to be easy to do business with for those mid-sized guys like we were, right? So that you don't have to march into the headquarters and demand to see the CEO just because you want to buy some equipment, right? That seems kind of ridiculous. But I remember, and I've told you this story before, right? And one of my earliest memories as a kid in IT was that my dad was the IT guy for a construction company, a mid-sized company. I'd go in on the weekends with my dad because that's what IT guys have to do, right? And so when we think about the product at scale in the HC3, it was really about dealing with that reality, right? That, when the guy wakes up in the morning, the first thing he does is check his phone to say, oh, well, I hope nothing broke while I was sleeping, right? And now with the HC3, if a server lost power, right, everything else came back up and everything's fine, right? And so it's sort of this focus on the mid-market is, it extends to the product, it extends to the culture of scale, and really for us, it kind of comes from deep-seated roots that go back a long way.
That it does. One of those other pieces is like when you've got a lot of those products are kind of the enterprise hand-me-downs. Oh, let's strip out a few features and then we'll push that down while all the complexity of that thing's still there.
And that's the challenge, right? Every time, there's networking and storage and servers, and the storage have subnets and all these different things, and virtualization comes in and it has all this promise, yet again, kind of tying it back into that earlier story, you've got a small IT staff, you just want the applications to work. And I think that difference, right, gets captured when we're showing somebody the HC3 for the first time, right? And sometimes as we talk about it, and we talk about, what is hyperconvergence and this, deep level of integration, and how is it different than, we'll get questions like, how is it different than Cisco UCS, right? And it's quite different, right? But people, as they're trying to get their minds around it, like, how does it work? And at some point, whether it's in, just some open discussion, or maybe the first 3 minutes of actually doing a product demo, the light bulb goes off, right? And we always joke that there's kind of physical reaction, right? Like somebody says, oh, right? And it's just a very, very different, it's a very different way of doing IT infrastructure.
Simplicity, was one of those core design tenets, and it's like simplicity, high availability, and scalability is what our products are really all about.
Right, and automation, right? When you think about what's the intellectual property that makes scale computing what it is, it's in the automation layer, right? To replace, the staff that you don't have, right? In the mid-market, and make these things just work.
Exactly. You don't need the team of SAN experts, network experts, virtualization experts to basically make it all run.
I think that with so many technical products, the sales process, and when you're talking about different vendors and what's this and what that, it becomes almost like trying to sort through a data sheet in your head, right? And everything's about this checkbox and that checkbox and this many terabytes and that many gigabytes and this whatever, right? All these different things. And when you see the HC3, right, you come into it as the prospective customer, and that's your mindset, right? And you're trying to bucket the HC3 product into these different columns, and then you see it, right, and all that just goes away, right? Because it's a whole different experience.
Absolutely. It's a good feeling. Love the company.
There we go.